Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back to the I-5 Corridors Traffic Report. Tyson Alger here, joined by Justin Myers. Justin, do anything this weekend?
Yeah, did a lot this weekend. Got some yard work done, tidied up the garage. Just a good deep fall clean.
Let me ask, what's your grass height at right now? Is it enough, that maybe like your shin might graze it just ever so slightly as you're going through the...
It is just long enough to where, I don't know, if let's say Oregon running back were maybe or maybe not down, I think they'd be ruled down. And I think I will, in the spirit of that call, which I'm sure we're going to dive into a little bit later, but in the spirit of that call, all season long I'm going to up the setting on my mower.
Yeah, do it.
Just for that call.
Leave it long, baby. It's kind of like the baseball groundskeepers that will do the third baseline kind of slanted a little bit for bunted balls to either stay fair or foul. But this one actually kind of backfired for Penn State, even though, as I wrote today in the Lookout, that grass, those seeds, they come from Oregon. They came from Mountain View Seeds in Salem.
There we go.
Well, is the fix in?
I mean, it is the grass seed capital of the world. You see the sign every time you drive down said I-5 corridor.
Here's how crazy that game was, though. That play happens in the third quarter, I believe. At that point, it had been kind of a defensive slugfest. Oregon's offense looked far better than Penn State's. Game was relatively close. Ducks are finally driving. They're into the red zone the first time. Noah Whittington fumbles. Calls reversed. Next play, Dante Moore to D.R. Hill, a little 8-yard screen touchdown. I'm writing the hell out of that lead. I'm like, here we go. Penn State's not coming back. And then by the time we played the fourth quarter, an overtime, a second overtime, that was just kind of like my day after story was talking about that fumble. But what a game.
What a game. I'm going to start with this. And this is something that I feel bad that you really don't get to experience in the college football world. In other worlds, probably, but you are an actual real journalist. You went to the school, you've got the credentials, you write the story, you are impartial. I am not. We have established the yin and the yang on this show that I am not impartial, that I am an emotional Oregon football fan, as homer as it can get. And the best, Tyson, the best part of a win like this for a crazy fan like me is since Saturday night, I have done nothing but be on social media. I have looked at X, formerly known as Twitter. I have been running through anything college football on YouTube. I've been searching for Penn State focused podcasts on YouTube. It is the best. When your team wins the game of the year, which is funny because that Saturday there could have been like 3 games of the year going on in college football. But when your team wins, like the game that everyone's talking about, that College Game Day is there, and they go into this whiteout environment, they win in double overtime, it is the best. It is the opposite of doom scrolling. It is just joy scrolling through social media. It's Tuesday. I haven't stopped. There's so much content out there, and I just keep running right through it. It is the best.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. Just a little jealous. I mean, like the only comparison that I get to, and this has maybe happened in my career maybe 7 or 8 times, where it's a game of a certain magnitude, where it's on a national television channel, where you're getting maybe not just the diehards watching the game, but it has enough juice around the country that maybe some aunts and uncles who aren't generally watching Oregon football are tuning in. And then when the Ducks win that game, all of a sudden I'm just getting texts all over the place that are like open-ended conversation texts too. And it's pure chaos for me, like right after a game. Like now that I'm with Lookout again, like I have to do like a at the horn gamer. That's not easy in a double overtime game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit challenging. I think
especially on that East Coast time.
Oh man, it was so late. And then it's, so you file that, then it's running down to the stadium, or running down to the press area, and it was really hard to find. It was me and Harold Reynolds of all people looking for it together. He spent the second half of the game in the press box. He got a precautionary message played over the PA system after he was yelling after the non-targeting call. How is that not targeting? And then over the PA, reminder, there is no No cheering in the press box. So it's me and Harold running down there, and we're trying to figure out where they go. I was like, Harold, I'm just going to block for you. Let's go, buddy. And then we ended up making it. But but then I like pull up on my phone, and I just have all these texts of like, what the hell's going on with Lanning right now? Like, is he okay? And I didn't know what they were talking about, right? Because I wasn't on the field at the end. But then I start to see the Twitter and the blue sky. And, oh, my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen a coach that amped, is that the right word? Or whatever the hell Dan was, it was in the immediate postgame.
As they said in the great movie, This Is Spinal Tap, he went to 11. It's like these speakers, ours go to 11.
Right.
It's like one louder. And like Dan Lanning has always been, I feel like Dan Lanning has always done a really good job of like walking that fine line. I think Nick Saban always talked about it. He's like, you want to play with emotion, but don't be emotional. And I always felt like Dan Lanning coaches with emotion, but he doesn't feel like an emotional guy. And you've seen those coaches that are just losing their shit on the sidelines. And you're like, well, how does anybody ever listen to you?
Right.
Because you're just a complete maniac on the sideline. Whereas like, I feel like Dan Lanning is like, he coaches with emotion, but he always seems to have it all together. And for about, I don't know, 10 minutes after that game, like he just lost it. Like he just went to a different place.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting that he kind of like let it go and then ultimately got it back. But yeah, he was in like a trance, like let out like a primal yell.
Yeah, that was.
You know what's interesting though, because I didn't even comprehend this. I didn't even think of it. You know, Dan Lanning feels like he's been coaching at Oregon forever. He has not.
Correct.
This is year 4. And while there are some really close games and some intense moments, the guy's never coached an overtime game.
That actually kind of blew me away.
Yeah,
I was like, have I really not seen an overtime game in the last 4 years?
Never coached an overtime game. By the way, masterful job of I think, kind of coaching the overtime, and you know, it felt like,
I mean, the Ducks knew what was coming on that final play. Like
exactly right. So, but it was just like from a guy who who kind of builds up the whole, hey, he said all week, we're going to play the game, not the event. And I was like, I think there were some moments, and this is not a criticism, it's an observation of like, I think he let the moment get a little bit more than he would like to admit. 17-3, essentially on the sideline saying, this game's over. It was not, narrator voice. And then, after the game, kind of just not knowing what to do with whatever energy was built up inside him. But, I mean, that's why college football is the best, right? This was why big-time college football games are the best, because you can get a coach just kind of losing it after a win like that.
Well, according to Dan, he wasn't saying this game is over. He was saying that the motto throughout the week is we need to have 1,000 small cuts.
Yes.
And that was another small cut. It also kind of looked like a universal, this game's over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a professional lip reader. He certainly looked as if it said it's over.
He's got the angel and the devil on the shoulders, and the angel's much larger. Like the angel wins most of the time. The angel's got big old biceps with a tattoo that says "mom" on it. The devil knows his place over. But occasionally, just occasionally, that devil comes out, and we saw just like the very last moments of it when he came into the press tent, which was it's quite the thing to have like the press tent like inside the bowels of the stadium, but like right where all the fans are coming out, and so it's skinnier than the Autzen one. Like it's which isn't an ideal visiting press tent either. But Dan comes in like right after the Penn State band was playing in the background, which I kind of thought was funny because if you remember in the Big Ten championship game last year, it was James Franklin calling it a JV setup when the Ducks band was playing.
Yes,
in the background of theirs. But Dan comes in and his eyes are just focused. Yeah, it was just very intense. He was more chatty than he typically is in a post-game press conference, but it wasn't like anything like out of the usual. And then it was when you come out of there and then you started scrolling through, you're like, oh man, like it looks like this one meant a lot to him.
Question for you. Dan Lanning has been caught a handful of times, and again, not a criticism, just an observation, popping what looks to be a Zyn pouch.
Correct.
How many think he went through in that game, double overtime, on the sideline?
That's about,
double figures?
That's about a 5-hour game or a 4-hour game.
It was a long game.
He's probably going.
Well, actually, it wasn't a long game, because the first 3 quarters of the game flew by.
They actually did.
Flew by. You were in your head. You had at 17-3. You had your article maybe, and you had your escape route, and and then oh boy.
Yeah, I was that guy who said, kind of midway through the second quarter, like, boy, that went quick.
Oh no,
yeah,
you did.
You don't. I've been in this business too long to be that guy, but I was that guy.
So I want to know all about Happy Valley, and I want to know all about your experience being in the building. But nuts and bolts of the game. I again will admit, as an Oregon fan, you're never going to convince me that he wasn't down. Mm-hmm. I will say again, the experience of watching the game on TV was much different, because I don't know if you noticed this, but right after that play, and I'm going wait, he looked like he might have been down. What's going on? NBC goes to commercial.
Oh, no.
They go right to so losing our minds at home.
Yeah.
Penn State, if you're a Penn State fan watching it, you're like, oh, sweet. They just went to commercial. We have the ball about midfield. Momentum's all on our side. And then you come back and they're like, yeah, let's just show that little grace. It all was at commercial.
Well, yeah, and it was awkward. It was awkward in the stadium too, because they had that natural commercial break they were going to, and then I think everyone's firing off their Noah Whittington fumble tweets, and then it was kind of you waited, and then it was just oh, they're reviewing this, and then boy, I don't know, so the whole thing is that you have to have indisputable evidence to turn over.
He looked like it touched a grass blade to me. That's indisputable.
But
I mean,
yeah.
If the rule is that if your knee touches the grass,
that's definitely one of those where if he was initially ruled down, everyone's going well, you can't overturn that one.
Yes.
Might have been a tough weekend for the Penn State groundskeeper. Just mow it up, 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, but that's been and I don't know how real it is, because again, I don't play high level college football, but that's been a football thing for 30 years, probably even more, is that when you get a team that is explosive and fast going to a home team that is 3 yards in a cloud of dust,
you keep that grass high.
You
baby.
grow the grass. Yeah. You do not want a fast surface. So that one's on them. So and then the targeting.
That's one of the more egregious ones.
That's not what the fact that the broadcasters and the rules analysts were on TV going nah, but it's clearly not targeting, and I'm these guys are all idiots. I watched a lot of football.
What was their, because I wasn't listening to the broadcast, what was their reasoning for why it wasn't targeting?
So apparently, 2 things. Once the ball was caught and a football move was made, that establishes him as a runner, not as a defenseless receiver. So then the rule after that is it has to be what is considered the crown of the helmet. So you can go helmet to helmet, but you can't lead with the crown of your helmet. And apparently, and this is the first I've heard of it, the crown of the helmet is a 6-inch diameter from the top. And that was the forehead, as if no concussions are made from the forehead.
Correct, yeah.
Now, I don't like the punishment for targeting. I think targeting is a good rule. I think the punishment does not fit the crime. I think it should be a 15-yard penalty and play on. I don't think the kid who made the tackle should have to sit out.
Right.
But that was clearly hit a guy with your head, leading with your head. But yeah, the explanation was it was the hairline of the helmet, not the crown of the helmet. And which led to a 4th and 1, which led to a crazy, intense play call, and then Oregon would eventually score.
So Penn State Ducks offense looked like garbage for 3 quarters. Then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, they do back-to-back just game-saving, season-saving, championship DVD starts today type of drives.
Legacy-saving drives.
They open up overtime. They score in overtime. Ducks get the ball. How are you feeling at that point? Are you just like it's done, it's over?
I'm a ball of nerves at that point. I'm not in it's done, it's over, but then you fumble the first possession, and the thing that
I forgot. Yeah,
the thing that didn't make me completely doom and gloom was like you watch that game. Dante Moore is a star. Like that dude, he's not supposed to play that well in that game, in that environment. I know he has a handful of games under his belt from UCLA, but like that guy in that environment was not supposed to play that well.
If he would have struggled, we would have been like, you know what, this was his first time, big time in that atmosphere.
Yeah, got a little bit
team, yada yada
bigger
yada.
In the moment.
None of that.
He was the best player on the field, and it was undeniable. So like,
might be the best player in the country, but
he might be right there. And then then they completed a pass, and then they got sitting at 4th and 1, which brings up an interesting conundrum, Tyson, that I would like to talk about. Because I was one of the people who maybe in an emotional state.
Ooh, I know what you're going for here.
A handful of seasons ago was yelling at Dan Lanning for maybe going for it on 4th down too much.
Did he go for it on 4th in this game? I can't.
7 times.
I can't. And like maybe a couple, like even in the first like 2 or 3 drives of the game.
Seven times.
Yeah.
And as somebody who after the Washington game was like, what are we doing? After the next Washington game, what are we doing? And I believe I will. Let me call myself out on the carpet.
Yeah.
Because Dan Lanning, after that first Washington game where they had the lead, and then we all learned who the hell Michael Penix Jr. was, and then
lefty,
and
he had a couple of receivers.
We called him O'Dunes, and then we all had to learn that was Odunze because he Odunze'd his way into the end zone.
Odunzo'd the duck.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah. And Bo Nix is on the sideline with an ankle injury, and Oregon's going for it on 4th down. And Dan Lanning after that game said, and it's a great Dan Lanning type quote. He said, medicine doesn't always taste good, and I was like, okay, he gets it. And then after the Oregon State game, where they did the same thing, I may have tweeted out that Dan Lanning said he took his medicine. Apparently it didn't take, or some snarky comment like that. I was also very emotional that day.
Yeah.
But then I realized that every coach is going to have their thing, and you got to accept it. And as an Oregon fan, just have to accept that Dan Lanning is going to sometimes recklessly just go for it on 4th down. And you know what?
You just got to
This one, it paid off. 5 of 7. He was converted 5 of 7, one of which in overtime. Like,
I was going to say, like most stats show that most people who gamble consistently lose a lot more than they win. But the reason that they keep doing it is because, boy, those days when it pays off, it feels good.
And this was one of those days.
Yeah.
So it just know that there's going to be a time later on this season. I'm still on the high of this game, so I don't care. Like, I'm living in the moment right now, and future Justin's going to have to worry about this. But there's going to be a game where he's going to go for it, and I'm probably going to revert back to going like, what on earth are we doing here? But for this one time, boy, it really worked.
I'm so damn impressed with Moore because he's 20 years old. He has all this pressure on his shoulders. He's the coolest, calmest guy I've been around, probably out of Oregon, that has like that sort of pressure on his shoulders since Marcus. They handle themselves very similar, but also like the year I covered Marcus, he was a redshirt junior, and he had been a starter. He had been a established, very good player in college football already for 2 years. So I don't know what younger Marcus was like, and I don't think younger Marcus had I'm not going to say younger Marcus had this type of pressure on his shoulders in his first 2 years. They obviously played in some pretty big games in 2011 and 12, but it was just so funny to have like the contrast of like Dan post game And then Dante comes into the presser, and he's wearing like full black sweatsuit, loafers. He's got his headphones on his head, and he's just got this huge, massive pillow neck roll. They're bringing the neck rolls back in football, but they're a little cushier than the 70s linebacker. And he's just always the same temperature, whether it's post game, pre game, wherever. Like, we've been able to talk with him, but then you kind of saw that in this game too. No turnovers. The play he made on the Gary Bryant touchdown for the win was, he steps up, avoids pressure, and then just slings that thing. It was spectacular. It answered every single question that we had about him. He's not going to face a tougher environment than that this season, maybe until whatever comes in January, and those are all neutral field anyways.
Yep.
So. That was as loud of an environment that I've been at, other than Autzen. I think Autzen has a higher gear, but it's, there's still a little bit more bass that comes with like 111,000 people versus 60,000 people. And also I was just impressed too with every seat was filled probably 30 minutes before kickoff too. Like, the buzz was, if Autzen has one fault, it's a slightly late arriving crowd. Not like post kickoff, but it's not. People are still enjoying the walk across the river about 30 minutes before kickoff. So like the intensity from this thing was like there from the start, and Dante never looked overwhelmed by it. Like, he looked like he had played in dozens of those games.
Well, now it's going to get real because I don't know if like the odds have changed. I don't know where he sits right now.
I saw him today at the front of a couple.
Yes, he is now, if not the leader, in the top of every discussion for the Heisman from here on forward. And I don't know if maybe you put a future bet on Dante Moore to win the Heisman Trophy in March. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah. I don't know who would have done that, but very excited about anybody that decided to make that. But I am curious because I agree with you. Like, he shouldn't be like this composed in these moments. Well, now it's going to get real. Like, now he's famous. Like, Oregon fans kind of knew who he was, but like, even coming out of high school, he was overshadowed by Arch Manning, and then went to UCLA. And if you've ever watched a UCLA game, clearly there's not a lot of spotlight on that program.
There's a world where maybe he was just a little bit better his true freshman year, and then maybe he sticks around, and now he's just like wallowing as like a very good player on a bad team in UCLA, and Oregon's like a good football team, but not quite.
I know.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But Oregon fans had this hope that okay, 5-star guy, he was going to be our guy. He's got some experience, but there's always that little bit of worry of dude, you had 2 years of Bo Nix, elite level, and then Dylan Gabriel, who the most experienced college football quarterback of all time. And then it's okay, is there going to be a little bit of a dip? And it's no.
Well, and especially because this is an Oregon fan base that right before Dante Moore, they had got Ty Thompson, who had all the same accolades, maybe not quite to the top level extent, but it was highest rated recruit and quarterback recruit in Oregon history. And when Bo Nix first came in, there was a portion of the fan base that was like, why would we go with Bo Nix when we have Ty Thompson? And then we saw Ty Thompson a handful of times, and now he's ending his career as a tight end. So I think there's a little bit of a trust, do we really have that guy? And this guy did transfer and decided to sit a year. That's not normal. And while it was kind of positioned as a good thing, and as Dante wants to learn and it's best for him, I'm sure there were some people that are going is that all maybe? And no, none of that was true. He's phenomenal.
And now it's going to get real loud for him. So I'm curious to see how that's handled. He handled a whiteout at Penn State pretty well. So a lot of people talking about him on the internet probably not going to faze him all that much.
Do the Ducks win that game with Austin Novosad at quarterback, Justin?
There's no chance. No. They don't win that game with any other quarterback in the country.
What about Dylan Gabriel?
I don't know if they win that game with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback.
I
don't want to get out over my skis because I am so pumped for this kid right now. But the throw in second overtime, that play in second overtime, where he goes on the bootleg, makes a dude miss, hits the guy in stride, and it's a no doubt 20-year-olds all supposed to make that play in overtime or double overtime on the road, and it was just the throwback to Sadiq, like in the second half, like the pinpoint throw to Decorian on kind of like just right over, like there were like NFL throws that you saw him make.
It was
in that game.
It was funny on the drive back from State College to Pittsburgh. By then I was out of like my travel podcast. Like it took me 15 hours to get from here to Pittsburgh on the way out, and so now I'm listening to like a week old Bill Simmons ones, and he had Todd McShay on, and they were talking about the best college football quarterbacks, and Todd McShay was saying that he thinks Dante Moore is going to be the number 1 pick, and that he throws the best ball in college football, and we just need to see what he can do in this. It's just funny to like listen to like one of those like pre-podcasts after you just saw like him answer every single one of those questions, and it's the one interesting thing McShay did bring up though, because he talked about the draft and where he might go. He's like, I really hope that he doesn't go next year in the draft. He's like, I think that he could be incredibly seasoned if he comes through. And either way, I think Dante might make some money next year, whether he's playing for the Ducks or playing for whoever. I've
always said when push comes to shove with this NIL stuff and people realize how valuable a quarterback at Dante Moore's caliber is, or any of these guys that like. There will be a program, and why not Oregon? I mean, they're the program with all the money that is going to be able to compete with NFL. Mm-hmm. Like, it was unheard of to think that number 1 overall pick, you can't compete financially. You might be able to compete, like, Peyton Manning came back for his senior year.
Right.
I think, and he would have been number 1. Matt Leinart famously came back.
Barkley came back, I think.
Yeah, but like, there were other factors, like, and I don't know where Dante Moore's motivations are because I don't know the kid, but like financially, like he might have a bidding war between, I don't know who's going to be, probably the New Orleans Saints. Sorry, Spencer Rattler. Like Kellen Moore is going to be looking for a quarterback at the top of the draft likely, and it's like,
It's not a bad time to be, and again, here we are getting out over our skis, but it's not a bad time to be quite possibly one of the best quarterbacks in Oregon history at a time when Oregon has more talent on their roster than in Oregon history, at a time when Phil Knight's desperately wanting to get a championship before.
Really is perfect timing. All right, so a couple questions for you, because you were there and you alluded to a little bit.
I was on the scene.
You were there. You were in the building. You were in, as they say in Hamilton, the room where it happens, which is a line they stole borrowed from West Wing. You were there in what is described as a bucket list item for college football. Penn State top 6 matchup, as we talked about last week. Whiteout night game, 111,000 people. On TV, it looks incredible. What is it like being in that building?
Well, first, I was ready to hate it because, as I mentioned, the alarm went off at 3 a.m. on Friday. Get to the airport for my 5 a.m. departure to Dallas. Fly to Dallas. Nice, easy flight.
Yep.
Supposed to have like a 2-hour layover in Dallas. Not a big deal. It's going to be like another few hours up to Pittsburgh. I got tickets for the Penguins game. It's going to be a great day. We're good. We get onto the airplane. We sit down on the airplane. We sit for an hour. Then finally, they come over the speakers. The air conditioner's not working. We know. So we have to get off. We have to fix this. Instead of taking off to where you don't need the air conditioner, we got to fix this for it being hot while we sit on the ground. So we get off the plane. And by the way, the guy sitting next to me was asleep the entire time. And I kid you not, he woke up. He thought we were in Pittsburgh. He gets off the plane and he did a double take. And when we got back on the plane later, I was like, I know these people. This isn't right. So I feel bad for him. But so we got off the plane. We wait an hour. We're about to get back on the plane. They come over the speaker. The pilots had timed out. So at this point, not going to the hockey game. Anyways, we end up getting into Pittsburgh about 6 hours later than I was supposed to. As I'm pulling up to the hotel, which is right next to the hockey rink, all these damn Pittsburgh Penguins fans are coming out of the stadiums with big smiles on their faces. They had a good time.
Great night.
So I get to bed, wake up. I'm a little.
Is that Mellon Arena?
It
used to be Mellon Arena.
Maybe it's something. It's the paint company that's out there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Used to have the coolest name, by the way, in all of hockey, which is the Igloo.
Right.
And then corporate America took over and ruined that one. But anyways, I digress.
So Saturday comes, and I'm a little daunted by the day. It's a 2.5-hour drive to State College, and from my assumption, it was going to be longer than that because it said 2.5 hours before traffic. And I've driven to Autzen a lot of times, Justin, and I know traffic can build up. And
right there by the Enchanted Forest.
A lot more people are going to this game than they go to Autzen games. Get in the car. Smooth. Don't hit a single ounce of traffic. Get there in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's a massive athletic complex, larger than any, like, it really puts into perspective like some of these OG Big Ten schools compared to like the Pac-12 defectors coming in. It's like you can understand that like the athletic directors on the Pac-12 side are looking at these schools and be like, oh yeah, like I want in on that, because there's so many fields, there's so many different complexes. It's even just crazy to me to have like a basketball arena and a hockey arena, and tailgates are everywhere. And I know you've parked at Autzen enough times that's probably the most stressful part of the media day is you're just like, I just got to get to my spot.
Get me to the
like,
spot.
Can you move this barbecue out? Like, you're looking at me like I'm going to get out of my car and move your barbecue when your barbecue's in the middle of the road. Anyways, I digress. Simple. Parking took like 5 minutes. It's clearly marked. You get in there, you park, get out of the car. Everyone's wearing white. It's just from the get go. It's just a sea of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Tailgating goes basically all 360 around the stadium and seems to extend for like a mile. It's kind of rolling hills around the stadium. It's not quite forested, but it's very lush and green. And then you get in the stadium and you're welcome to just like that perfect grass turf that we were talking about earlier.
Perfect length.
They had just renovated the press box, which still has some quirks to it. You have to go through the kitchen and go through like basically the service elevator to get up there, which was not a fun thing at 1 o'clock in the morning when everyone is trying to get up there to write their stories and the kitchen people are trying to get like all of the food stuff out. It took about 25 minutes or so. But then fans started filling in, and man, it was just electric. I mean, just the contrast between this whiteout and the blackout thing the Ducks tried to do the week before, it was just almost kind of comical in its execution, just because everyone's wearing white except for like the few like slivers of Oregon green that were in the stadium. The intensity was there, that the band was great. The sunset from basically the press box view was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, because it's just basically, with the way the clouds were set, it was basically just completely like orange on one side, gray on the other, and then the whiteout in the stadium. And it was, I had a great time. It was a super long and stressful day. I would do that one 10 over 10. Yeah. And I've done some other ones too that, you know, had a little bit of hype, not necessarily the game, but the environment, like Nebraska or Michigan State. And I remember not thoroughly enjoying those trips, just because it's, you know, like some of these towns are hard to get to, and it's a lot of travel, and then maybe the game's not a great game or something doesn't live up to this. I was on cloud 9 before the game happened, just because of the setting and the atmosphere and the juice, and then we were treated to a top 5 game in Oregon Ducks history.
Unbelievable.
It was really cool. Pittsburgh's an awesome city. Had never been there before. I followed our buddy Jeff Smith's advice. He always gives me crap because I schedule on the back end of road trips. I'm generally get me on the 5 a.m. flight. I want to go home. He's like, buddy, you're on a work, like you gotta go enjoy America. Like take the 5 p.m. flight, you know, like have a day, like take a walk, like take in the sights. And so, knowing that I wasn't going to get back to Pittsburgh till like 4 or so, I booked the 8 p.m. flight, slept until 11,
Nice.
Walked over to Primanti Brothers.
Primanti
Brothers.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because the Pittsburgh game, which was happening in Ireland, was just finishing up. So you like walk in there, you got a whole bunch of Pittsburgh fans like in their element. Monster sandwich and like a 24-ounce beer for $14.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, like I almost asked for job applications. Like, went from there, did a walk around the city. It was like sunny, 80 degrees. Did the walk across Roberto Clemente Bridge to PNC Park where the Pirates play. I think that might be my favorite setup in baseball that I've seen.
It's one of the biggest disappointments in all of Major League Baseball. Maybe one of the bigger disappointments in all of sports, that the Pittsburgh Pirates, for everything that they have there, like that ballpark is beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
Is as good as any setting in all of major sports, and they flat out stink, and they're never going to be good. Which is so funny to me too, because like the Penguins and the Steelers are never thrown into that like, oh, it's a small market team or this or that.
Yeah. Like they're very successful. What's up, Pirates?
Yeah, well, because their owner is just sitting there counting money left and right. Oh, we lost 98 games this year. I don't care. Check still cleared. Got it. We're good. I'm going to laugh even more when I sell off Paul Skeens to the Yankees, which is going to happen, or the Angels, or the Dodgers, somewhere. Yeah, and then you have this beautiful stadium right on the Three Rivers. Can you name the Three Rivers, Tyson?
The Allegheny.
Boom.
No idea on the other two.
The Monongahela.
I was close.
And they create the Ohio.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Yeah. So I love Pittsburgh. I'm obviously biased, but I will say.
Oh right, I didn't even think of that. Steelers guy.
Yeah. Been to Pittsburgh many times. Yeah. Had the Primanti Brothers sandwich. So let's talk about this real quick. And then
wait, hold on. Can I do a little confession?
Yeah.
And I was incredibly self-conscious with this. I'm not a big coleslaw guy. And they put on, and by the way, I didn't say no coleslaw. I ate my sandwich. I think it would have been a 10 out of 10 with about a quarter of the amount of coleslaw that was on.
Gotcha.
With what I was given, it dropped it down to like a 7 or so, but that's just because of my preference. I'm not a big coleslaw guy.
All right. So it skews the question I was going to have, because there's become like a thing like where you go to a place and it's known for certain cuisine, and then that cuisine, and I think I'm using the right word, is bastardized.
Let's hope you're.
I hope so, but I think it's the right term. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, I'm in Buffalo, let's get some wings.
Right.
And you go and there's 50, and they all make mediocre wings because they know everybody's coming to Buffalo for wings. Yeah. Or it's like, oh, we're in Philly, let's get a cheesesteak. And it's like, they're not great.
It's like in The Office when Michael Scott goes to New York City and he's like, a New York slice of pie, and he walks into like a Sbarro.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Maybe a certain donut place in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know. Anyways, I've always felt the Primanti Brothers sandwich lives up to what I think the hype is. I could see where but the coleslaw is different. It's not the same. It's the vinegar based coleslaw.
And I understand. And none of this diminished my thought and opinion of the place, because it's awesome. You know, they got the griddle right in front of you. It's just this big French bread or whatever kind of bread it is. It's so good. There's fries in there. There's cheese, and most of these places. The famous place in a city that, you know, oh, if you're in this city, you got to go there. Usually they charge out the ass for them.
Yeah.
This like $9 for the biggest, like $9 for a sandwich I could barely finish.
It's so awesome.
I'll take it.
All right, let's.
The last thing I was going to say is
clearly we've done a lot of like really good pre-production for this podcast.
Yeah, this is my fault. I was just going to say the other thing I noted about the drive out to State College is it just reminded me a little bit of Pullman, where, I mean, completely different terrain, but it's just like nothing, boom, mega college.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Pullman, you're going through the fields, and it's just, and to State College, you're just going through these just rolling kind of hills, and it's super pretty, but then the college just kind of comes up and smacks you in the face, and It's a big place.
It's one of my favorite lines that I've stolen. Shout out to Reggie Jordan, former Oregon Ducks linebacker, number 47, Big Reg, who told me one time,
Big Reg.
It's like, I feel like somebody went out to Eastern Washington, threw a rock, and said, build it there. Because there's like no rhyme nor reason to why Pullman is in Pullman or anything else. It's like you're going to the middle of nowhere, and then there. So it kind of felt
well. In all the discussions in the press box and the media are along the same lines of when it's Washington State. It's like, oh, did you stay in Spokane or did you stay in Moscow?
Yeah.
And for here it was, oh, did you fly into Harrisburg or did you fly into Pittsburgh? Like, oh, I heard so and so was actually able to fly into State College. Oh, who's paying for that?
So, I have tried to not oversimplify and to not always just adhere to what is the narrative, right? I try to think that, you know what, there's got to be more to this. It's not as simple as it all seems. But Tyson, sometimes it is as simple as it seems. Like, James Franklin just can't win a big game. Like, I don't want to be the guy that just, it seems too easy to throw that out there. But like this game in particular, right, had every big game leading up to this, waiting in the wings. They played 3 cupcakes and had a bye leading up to this game. So essentially, since the moment they lost in the semifinals, they have had all of that time to prepare for this game. And they didn't show up till the fourth quarter. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't want to be the guy who's just like, James Franklin can't win a big game. But like the fact that they look like that. Now, to their credit, they made it a double overtime game. They're going to be around. Like, that's still an incredibly talented team. But like, at some point, do you just go dude?
No. Is James Franklin the Mike Bellotti of Penn State? And I'm not saying Mike Bellotti can't win the big game, but I'm saying you have a coach who took a program that wasn't doing well.
Yeah. Lucky they even have a program.
Right. I wouldn't say Oregon. That parallel doesn't quite work.
No, it's completely different circumstances.
But he took it. He turned it into a team that is really good. They're consistently in the top 10. They're so good that he is able to lose these big games. If you will.
They are in big games,
right?
Yes.
But Mike Bellotti took Oregon to a certain level. But then you kind of needed the infusion of Chip Kelly to take that base that they had built up and then take it to the next level. I wonder if that's where Penn State's looking at it. But then you also have the added vitriol of like the dude actually just doesn't win big games.
Yeah. Well, and it's like not only that, like I mentioned, like the schedule leading up to it, you've got the 3-year starting quarterback, right? You've got the home field advantage. And
who looked more comfortable, Dante Moore or Drew Aller?
Yeah. I mean, and there was some moments where Drew Aller I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
But that should be the difference between a veteran and a rookie is the veteran should be the guy who isn't the one that's occasionally throwing together those passes.
So it's just and it's my theory as to why we joked about like Dan Lanning's a little nutty every once in a while, and like why these coaches, like if you look at major college football coaches' behavior, it's not of normal human interaction, right? They are power hungry, irrational, paranoid, like just media policies, player policy. Oh, no, freshmen don't talk to the media. It's like stupid shit like that. And you go like, why? And then you look at James Franklin and you go, if you make that one tackle on 4th and 1, you are no longer the guy who can't win the big game. You are now the best, maybe the best coach in America. 1 yard. One yard. One blade of grass. And that's a fumble. And you now have the ball with all the momentum in your best starting position. Like the difference between being the guy who can't win now he earned that reputation over the years with multiple other big games, but it's just like if you ever want to know why college football coaches act crazy and paranoid, it's because of things like that. Like and it's why football is the best, because it comes down to 1 yard or 1 inch or one blade of grass or one spot on the helmet where if it's an inch higher, that's a first down and not a fourth down. Like, that's what these guys live and die with. And that's why I think they're all a little crazy.
How much time in the he can win big game world does this one by Dan Lanning?
A lot. Because now it's like between this and Ohio State, like,
but let's say they have a season similar to last year where it's you win these big ones and then in the playoff maybe you don't show,
yeah,
you know.
Well, and that's
I'm just curious because like when you lose this one like James Franklin, it's an absolute indictment. But how much credit do you get for it then?
I mean, I think Dan Lanning's ultimately going to be judged by what happens in January, right? And this solidified their spot. Like, all hell's gonna have to break loose for them not to make the playoff.
Right.
So they're going to be in the playoff, and so now how you perform in the playoff, which again is still in such infancy, like. Narratives shall be written of, can this coach only win the regular season, right? Which for 100 years that was good enough, and now all of a sudden who knows? But yeah, like Oregon's going to be the playoff. This win solidified it, and he'll be judged by what they do.
Friday night, I went to bed with Oregon State leading. What was it, 24-?
I believe they were up 24-10.
Yeah, 24-10.
With about 7 minutes to go in the game. Yeah.
I woke up and that wasn't the case
no,
anymore.
It was not. They gave up 2 very fast touchdowns to Houston. Then had the ball with a chance to win the game at the end of regulation. And Tyson, and you've seen it, but I was watching it in real time. Like, I've never seen a kick so easily blocked in my life. Now they're having some special teams problem. Apparently it's an effing joke. Mm-hmm. Not just me.
Yeah.
Coach Bray said that. But the fact that, again, as we talked about, like, you said special teams was an effing joke, and then you had the punt thing, and then you have the kick thing, and then you get into overtime, and Oregon State's got the ball first in overtime, and it's 4th down, with what should be a very makeable college football kick, and you're like, nope, run the offense out there. Run it out there. They get stuffed. Complete meltdown. Houston, boom, boom, boom. Set it up, kick it, walk it off.
It's just tough because not that Houston's a great win by any stretch of the imagination, but that at least would have called off the Hounds for... Like
easily.
That would have bought them 3 to 4 weeks of at least treading water.
Yeah, and you can like sell your fan base that like, see, we can compete. Yeah. Like, please don't sell your tickets. Yeah. Like but instead, boy, that did not help. Yeah. Didn't help quiet, as you said, quiet the Hounds, because it's loud in Corvallis.
Yeah,
and I don't know how they like. It felt like that was worse than Civil War, right? Civil War
you're not like Civil War was a predetermined outcome.
Yes, but it would have been nice to like have a little bit of competitiveness in what was a once great rivalry, but instead, like, once Oregon decided to wake up, it was like, you can't move the ball, we can move it whenever we want. This game is completely over, and Oregon State fans like kind of knew that going in. This felt worse. Because it was like, oh, okay. Showing some fight. Showing a little bit of life here.
It's the hope that kills you.
It is the hope that kills you.
What's pissing you off this week, Justin?
So, a couple of things. I don't know how familiar you are with like home decor, but when you like see like something that sits on a counter or sometimes in a cabinet and it's on a swivel and it like goes around and around, you know what that's called?
Lazy Susan?
It is called a Lazy Susan. My thought was like, who was the guy that invented that? Or I'm assuming a guy invented that. And how mad at his wife was he when he called it a Lazy Susan? And how mad is Susan that it just like stuck like forever?
Susan had to have been dead.
You think so?
Yeah, or a divorce. That's good.
It was just. It was a weird thought of like, boy, that seems like a very like derogatory name. Clearly, it's like, oh, you don't want to bring the salt and pepper over to me? All right, you lazy Susan.
Yeah.
And then you make that.
Well,
thing.
and I mean, like, as they're going to the various home shows to like sell and market that thing, it's like, hey, I'm Bob, and this is, oh, you're Susan. You know, Susan, would you mind going? Oh, you know what? I know you're not gonna. And that's Susan.
And then this is a local one. So if you do not live in the greater Portland metro area, I don't know how much this is going to affect you. And Tyson, I don't know how much you have experienced
Are
this.
you about to do like 10 minutes on the National Guard?
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I really could.
Yeah.
So, as I have changed out of my media career into a new career, and I live in Southeast Portland, and I work in Beaverton. So, I drive through the Vista Ridge Tunnel every day. Why are we still honking in this tunnel? Like, why? What is it about that tunnel? Now, I grew up in a very small town, and yeah, anytime you were on a road trip in the Astro van and you go through a tunnel and you're like, oh, honk, honk, and you get your dad to honk the horn. It was kind of cool because it kind of echoed, or it reminded me of like if you were on a road trip and you saw a trucker and you gave like the universal honk your horn and the trucker go, but like grown adults going home during rush hour, why are we still honking in this tunnel? And not out of anger or frustration, but out of what?
Maybe they're new to the city and they're not just so hardened by life like you are.
It's every day.
You've moved to the metro, if you will. You commute to the suburbs. You know, you're one of those guys, Justin. You're a 9-to-5 corporate career man.
I mean,
there's still people that live outside of this little blue bubble, Justin. They live out on the farms. They live out in the country, and sometimes they come to the city. They're allowed.
They are allowed.
They're allowed to come to the city. They're allowed to take the tunnel for the first time. It's John and Carol's 15th wedding anniversary. They got Portland City Grill reservations. Do
you honk in that tunnel?
No,
of course not, because you're a normal human being. Never once have you ever thought, this is a tunnel I drive. Well, I don't. You don't drive. I drive through it twice every day.
Well, and also it's like it ends up being a tunnel that cries wolf situation, because like what if you like there's a lot of traffic in there. There's legit reasons why someone might need to actually honk.
100%. Like if anybody ever like needed to honk, like nobody's gonna believe you.
No.
So it's just every day. And it's like about it's about like my halfway point. So it's like I've already fought through like the traffic, right? Because as you mentioned, I am one of those people that clog up everything commuting out to the suburbs. Usually you're supposed to work in the city. I'm the opposite. And so I've fought through where you get the sign, it's like congestion in 2 miles. Like, oh God. And I've made it to the tunnel where usually it clears out just a little bit, but then everybody's just honking. And that's just, yeah. As we say, grinds my gears.
I do still hold my breath when I go through a tunnel. or a bridge.
I hope you wouldn't hold your breath on that tunnel.
Man, going to Long Beach is always a risk. That's a long bridge.
When you were younger, what was the game called? I'm curious and maybe you played this in Alaska. I'm not sure if you did. But like if you saw a car with one headlight out, what was that called? Did you play a game associated with that?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was growing up, if you were driving and you saw a car with one headlight out, that was Popeye, and you yell Popeye and you touch the roof of the car, and that counts as one. And this is before cell phones, clearly. Mm-hmm. Some places it's called a beer me.
Okay.
We were less worried about children saying beer me back then, but like I think around like the Seattle area, like if you see one headlight out, you go, oh, beer me.
Yep.
But like no game where you hit the top of the roof.
No, okay. No, driving is a serious activity in Alaska, Justin. You got to just take it 1 mile at a time.
What about when you saw a Volkswagen Beetle? Not the new one.
Slugbug?
So you did play Slugbug.
No slugbacks. You get to like monopolize a color. It's like red Slugbug. Then no one else can do a red Slugbug.
Oh, okay.
For the rest of the trip anyways. Mm-hmm.
So you called that one. So Slugbug red. Yeah. So they're out. They're off the
red
board.
Slugbug, no Slugbugs back or something like that.
Did you get to supersize if you saw the van?
No.
Oh yeah. Super Slugbug, and you got 4. Yeah.
Oh, I need to shout out, and I failed a little bit with this too. Remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Jell-O and Knox blocks, and you were like, "What are Knox blocks?"
Yes.
Grandma, who makes said Knox blocks, sent a little card and a note, and it had a Knox blocks recipe. So it was gelatin, it was Knox blocks, and it was a handwritten thing like, make sure you make some of this and give it to Justin so he can experience. So we made it up. We ate the whole thing.
No,
So thank you, Grandma. I'm very sorry that Justin did not get to experience. If you want to, try again. It's just basically like it's just basically Jell-O with like an extra gelatin packet. So it's just a little bit thicker.
Understood.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Knox blocks. Maybe next time.
It's a weird headspace to be in, to be a 36-year-old man with no kids and making routine trips to your fridge to just pull out little cubes of Jell-O throughout the day.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's the best.
It might be my new thing. You got anything else?
I'm again as I open the podcast, I'll kind of close with like how awesome it is when you get like this big win. I'm actually super pumped as well because you get the bye week, right? Trap games are a real thing. And then and I'm sure I'm just going to call our shot right now by next week. Like Kurt Cignetti's going to say something dumb, right? Oregon fans are now on fire. Like the video of the kids running out of their dorm doing shout and like I would assume is the quad. That's what you just always call it the quad.
We have the oval,
Got it. Was like awesome. And I'm like, Oregon fans are like now, no offense to Montana State, Oregon State, or Oklahoma State, but like that was a dress, like not even a dress rehearsal for like what Autzen is going to be like. And I still don't know if Oregon fans this is going to be the biggest home game all year.
I mean, it's
like Indiana is good.
It's caught me by surprise a little bit too when I covered the team. It's just like, oh shoot, that's coming up. Like that's going to be top 10 as game day.
Indiana's going to be a top 10 team because they're on a bye week, so they're undefeated. They just kicked the holy hell out of Illinois, who then just beat USC. And their coach is. Boy, if you talk about the angel and devil and Dan Lanning's shoulders, where the angel has a big, with Cignetti, it's a fair fight between the two. And so he's gonna say something, right?
Did you see Lanning's Instagram yesterday morning?
I did not.
It was a picture from the game, and it was the song Mo Bamba playing, which is Penn State's big, hype up the defense song. And Dan just captioned it, new favorite song.
Got it. Because he did say earlier in the week, I don't like that song.
Yeah, but now he likes it.
If we were doing sports talk radio in and around Western Pennsylvania, how many times would we get into the hot take of is it time for Penn State to get rid of the whiteout? It's a cool thing. It's not that old.
Hey, I was going to say it's not even our tradition, really.
How many? As we are recording this earlier in the week, how many? And I say this with love with Sports Talk Radio because I did it for 20 years. But goofball radio hosts
Yeah.
are like, hey, I got an idea. We're going to call out the whiteout.
Yeah.
It's time to end it. No more whiteouts.
Well, I'll tell you this, Penn State. If you do that, Oregon probably would have won that game by 3 touchdowns or so.
But glad you're back.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Glad you get a bye week to maybe.
I'm marrying some of my friends tomorrow, so
Yeah, that's right. You've got a bye week wedding, which tip of the cap to them.
Tip of the cap to them.
mean-
A tip of the cap to them, but also really, guys, because like it's ALDS weekend, baby.
Okay.
The Mariners are in the playoffs. I have ALDS money. I'll tell you what, Justin, I do not have ALCS money. We are not going beyond this round, so we'll not be seeing the Mariners play in person this postseason.
In football, obviously, false start is a thing. We do a lot of false finishes on this show because it feels like it's wrapping up, and then something pops up.
Something like Cal Raleigh hitting number 60, and then the Mariners clinching the division. Weren't we talking about like no champagne or something like that?
Yeah. Then they won the division, hung over the next day. Yeah.
Terrible moment.
Man, I just had something I was going to talk about, but again,
No, it's my fault. I talked over you.
Okay. I just thought of it.
And we brought it back.
We'll edit this out, right? No, keep it in. This is how Justin's brain works.
We'll do it live.
And I just did it in third person. All right, fall weddings, because you are attending one. It is on the bye week, so like credit to that, and I wish nothing but the best to the happy couple. Being married is the best. Weddings are the best. I love them. I love weddings
they're great.
so much. Some people are like, oh, I got to go to a wedding. It's like, no, I love going to weddings. You got to put on a suit and then dance around to, probably nostalgic music from when the happy couple was in middle school. It's great. But like, it's still in the fall. Like, what are we doing? And reason I bring this up is not to shame your friends, but you were probably driving through the rolling hills of Western Pennsylvania as College Game Day was on. But they said during College Game Day that congratulations to Reese Davis. His daughter was getting married the next day. And I'm like, you're Reese Davis's daughter. It's a 3-month window where it's a no-go.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
how did Reese give that union his blessing?
It's like, oh, but, and I saw some people like, oh, at least it's on a Sunday, and it's like, okay, yeah, I've been married. Tyson, you've been married. You know that it's not just one day. It's a lot of stuff. There's rehearsals. There's rehearsal dinners. There's family in town. There's a lot of stuff. And where's oh, that's right. They're in Happy Valley. They got Penn State, Oregon. Like, how does Reese Davis's daughter just like?
And then you're then you're the bad guy because you're going to Oregon Happy Valley instead of going to your. Anyways,
it was just something I thought of.
Our wedding was June 29th. You know what's happening in late June, Justin? Absolutely nothing. Or is that an issue for you too?
No, so it's not. I was going to tell you my wedding anniversary is February 19th.
I really hope we both got those right.
I really do as well.
Also, we are about an hour and 20 into this podcast.
Right.
They're not either. They're not listening.
February 19th, which is again February after the Super Bowl, right? There's nothing going on.
That could be a big like Arizona basketball, like Pac-12.
Well, guess what the NFL keeps doing?
They keep pushing the Super Bowl back.
Yeah. I'm one weekend away.
Yeah.
I can see it on the horizon.
There's one more wild card round out from you.
They added.
You're a wild card round away from a divorce, my friend.
If they add an 18th game to the schedule and another bye week, and then go, oh, let's just play Super Bowl on. So, anyways.
Yeah. We'll talk to you next week.
Great way to end.